Now let's see what are the control inputs that have to be given to the flag IEN. IEN is interrupt enable flag. So we know that a flag is simply 1-bit storage, therefore we are using a flip-flop, and in this case I am using JK flip-flop. And what are the various things that I am performing in IEN? I am sometimes trying to enable it and sometimes trying to disable it. For this, if you remember, I have two instructions. One is ION and IOF, right? So ION and IOF. So it is interrupt on and interrupt off. So when I am trying to, how does this work is, see this. Whenever, and these instructions are a part of IO instructions, if you remember, right? In the IO instructions at the end we discussed it. So D7 means IO instructions, D7 and I, these two means IO instructions. Whenever D7 equal to 1 and I equal to 1, so D7 equal to 1 means either the instructions are register reference instructions or the IO related instructions, and when I equal to 1 it means that it is definitely IO related instructions. So these two, D7 and I, are used to identify that it is IO related instruction. And T3, so whenever it is T3 it means that you are trying to execute an IO related instruction. And B7 is 1. So if you remember what B7 is, in the operand part, if you see this, the first 4 bits are going to say that it is IO related instruction. So 1 1 1 1 IO related instruction. This is D7 and this is I, right? And then after this you are going to count from B11, B10, B8, B7, right? So this particular bit, if this particular bit is 1, then it means that we are trying to enable the IEN, or we are trying to store 1 into IEN. So see this. Now in order to implement this in hardware, we have to give a AND gate with these 4 inputs, and we are supposed to give that AND gate to the set input of JK. I think you remember how JK operates. If it is 1, if it is 0, it is set. If this is 1, this is 0, it is reset, right? So we are supposed to give here as 1. Now how to do that? See this. Now D7IT3, it says that it is an IO instruction and you are trying to execute it. How can you know that it is execution? Because T3 means execution in case of IO instructions, right? So T0, T1 is fetch, T2 is decode, and from T3 it is execution in case of IO and register reference, right? But T3 is fetch the find out the effective address in case of memory related operations. Okay, now assume that this is IO instruction which is getting executed, and now if it is B7 in the instruction, which means if the instruction is enable that, if you have to, ION is the instruction, this is the meaning of it. For ION, B7 equal to 1, then J should be equal to 1, that is the meaning of it. Similarly, if IOF means IO is off, then B6. So if it is IO instruction execution and if it is B6, then you have to off it. That is why this one will be 1, this one will be 1, and you are going to get 0 output there. And there is one more case where you have to switch off the ION, this IEN. It is when you are talking about the interrupt cycle. So whenever you are dealing with the interrupt cycle, at the T2 phase you are supposed to turn off the interrupts, because we are not going to allow interrupts to happen while we are crossing an interrupt. That is the reason. And at the end of the interrupt, again we try to execute this ION and everything will be done. Okay, so what is the advantage? This entire design, this is the design of the control unit, right? So control unit is being designed like this, and these are the control signals which are given to all the units, logical units. So for all the digital logic units, we are going to give this control inputs, right? So if you see this, we are going to have control unit which will take the clock, that timer T0 to T7 or something, and then it will take D0 to D7, the inputs of that decoder of instruction decoder, and along with that it will also take the OR, or is nothing but interrupt, and it is going to give the control signals. And now these control signals will be given to all the logical devices, right? So logical unit, let us say arithmetic and logic unit. So to all the arithmetic and logic unit, these control units are given. Now the way you design this control unit is very important. Now whatever I have shown you here, it is called as hardware design, hardware control unit design. Got it? Now the advantage of this hardware control unit design is it is very fast. Generally hardware is very fast, isn't it? But the disadvantage is it is not flexible. So once you have designed the hardware using like this, and once this is integrated in the circuit, then you cannot change the operation of this particular gate. Or once you have designed the complete control unit, you cannot add or remove instructions, which means, let us say today you have designed the CPU and it is able to do 36 instructions, and you have completely designed the hardware inside. Later if you want to modify the way instructions are working, or if you want to add more instructions or delete instructions, it is not possible without changing the hardware inside it. Therefore it is not flexible. It is fast but not flexible. That is why we go for microprogram control instructions. So in microprogram control unit, what happens is we are not going to design the hardware here, we are going to put some software programs. Now the advantage is it is slow, but then the advantage it is flexible. By changing the code here, the control program, you will be able to change the instruction set. But in hardware control unit, the instruction set is going to be fixed. You cannot change anything. Got it? So this entire thing is called as hardware design. Later we shall see what is microprogram control unit. Later we shall see that. Okay.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%, and IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%, but all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkee's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkee, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkee is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkee. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities. But whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.